windy today, but another beautiful day, and kind of enjoyed it. Didn't quite have as crisp a practice as I was hoping, but you know, the energy and effort was good. I thought that cumulative effect of some new stuff probably caught some of them a little bit, but that's what you get when you got a bunch of new guys, and that's why we do spring ball. So saw some really good things out of some guys though, especially in our team run drills, so felt good about that.
How much new stuff will you actually throw in the spring?
You know, you're always kind of tweaking with things that you kind of looked at in the off season. Really right now, you know, the key to what we're trying to do is get them lined up in the formation. Make sure that the D-line's getting the right shades and they're communicating in the secondary, you know, all the way front to back, back to front. And you know, it's, as far as new stuff, there's always a little bit. Every day we're kind of looking at some concepts, get it on film and see how it works.
You mentioned it. When you're talking about communication, we talked to you mostly about the secondary on Monday. It's got to go back to front. How much of it is also involving the linebackers and pass coverage, and it's not just the 4 secondary guys or 5 if you're in nickel?
That's exactly, and really, guys, as I say, it's, you know, front to back, back to front. You know, linebackers got to make sure we get the shades up front right. Okay, based on, you know, strength and all that kind of stuff. And then they've got to communicate also to the back end. The back end's got to communicate down. So there's a lot of moving parts there. You know, the one thing I think, even when you see them in walkthroughs, there is a point of emphasis. So I see a lot of guys talking.
Christian Montez, what are you wanting to see from him in spring ball?
You know, obviously, you know, Crocker Gilmore has been a heck of a player here, and I thought he really came into his own the last year. I thought he became a dominant blocker on the line of scrimmage, and obviously that's kind of why we recruited Christian, is, you know, guys with some offensive line background and catching the ball pretty good too. I was kind of surprised actually, and yet, you know, we hope that he gets the schemes, communicates with those tackles, and now we've got another dominant guy to block at the line of scrimmage.
When you talk about your young receivers, how far along were they after just the fall? And were they ready to compete for jobs? Or are they beyond and they're competing with each other? Do you have an idea that they can be get-it-tos?
Yeah, I do. I really think that in a lot of ways, you know, they could have played last year. Just felt we had some numbers there and looking kind of to the future a little bit too. And yet, you know, those extra bowl practices helped because you could see how far they came. And then obviously as you look at them now, as they walk in and out, well, they've grown, you know, in Coach Kent's program. So I'm kind of glad what we did. And yet at the same time, you know, we'll have some babies out there.
How versatile are they? Because I noticed, you know, like, who was it? It was Elroy was running in the slot at sometimes today. Are they interchangeable parts? Can you put a big receiver in the slot and get another mismatch that way?
That's what I think we'll be able to do. Both Elroy and Xavier are doing that. And, you know, that they're going to have to man those positions when we get into our red personnel, you know, and even when we get into our purple personnel, which is going to be nothing but wideouts on the field.
I mean, if you put all 4 of those wideouts on the field plus Kevon, that's a lot of 6'3", 6'5" guys, little DBs have to cover.
That's kind of the thought, and hopefully create some matchups, and then also, you know, let Chuck and Hansley and those guys kind of work on the inside too a little bit. So I like what we're, you know, really the biggest thing now is the discovery of the parts, and then we'll really look at how it all fits.
How much kind of opens your eye every day? I mean, just I know you're not going to anoint anybody, but how many new ideas pop into your head just from watching a spring practice maybe a day?
You know, that's probably criminal. As many, you know, concepts as you start to look at different parts. That's kind of where the chess match. That's kind of where the fun of putting in a package is. And as these guys get a little better, and then we find out exactly what they can do. That's where the off season becomes a blast. Now, I guess the good news there is I think we have some parts to work with.
Good. Can I just ask what your general thoughts are on the idea of like players unionizing? I don't know if you ever had any or...
No, but somebody came in and told me about it yesterday, and of course you're in the middle of spring ball. And there's probably a reason I didn't go to Northwestern because I couldn't have figured out what it is. So, other than, you know, we'll see. It's obviously, guys, I haven't even been really aware of it. So
You can ask John Froland. He was accepted to Northwestern before you came.
I got
He
you.
might be able to-
Sure, if you tell me.